My name is Natalie. I am a hypno-psychotherapist, so I help people with a range of things. We can go into that later, but let's talk about why we're here. We're here to know about the book. I never anticipated to write a book, so it's been quite a surreal experience. So how did it happen? I was in the field of dentistry for 32 years and I left a few years ago now. I loved what I did and still love dentistry. I don't have any negative feelings for dentistry. It's just that as a person, we do grow and evolve and we change and we move into other directions. And it was in 2016, I had something that nobody wishes for, and that is a divorce. I can't say anybody gets married to go, I can't wait to get divorced one day. And unfortunately, that's what happened. And so that happened, and it really threw me. How did this happen to me? I completely put myself in victim mode. Why did this happen to me? Things happen in life to actually force us to look within. And even though I didn't know it at the time, that is precisely what happened. Now, because I'm wiser, going down the road of my journey and looking back, no longer do I put myself in victim mode. I realise that everything happens for us, for our growth, for a reason. This is precisely what happened for me, not to me. Sometimes there is a life event like an emergency, like a car accident, a near-death experience, a divorce, something big that actually makes us question. And so in my journey here, it was the divorce. So things started happening. When I got divorced, I shifted into my house and I was unpacking all of my belongings out of the car. And I saw this man at the bins, my next door neighbour, at the bins, and he had on this blue and white check shirt, pants, he wasn't very tall, hair slicked back, very thin, concave sort of chest. He looked a little ill, but anyway, he was putting things in the bins, little bags, and he was there for a while. And I got out the car and I'm like, oh good, an opportunity to meet my new neighbour. and I shifted in with my two children and myself, so it's nice to sort of get to know the neighbours, seeing that I was actually not living near my family at all. I'm on the other side of town now. And I waved to him and he didn't wave back. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe he just can't see me, he's elderly, maybe he doesn't have good peripheral vision. And I just, kept waving and waving and waving. And honestly, I got to the moment where I thought he saw me, because anyone else would have waved at this stage. I would have caught their attention, they would have waved, but he didn't. And I remember going, with all my nice neighbours. And I walked into my house, came back out, and he was gone. And he was there for a while. Cut a long story short, this is the strange thing. A few days later, some ladies came out of that house. And this lady, I said, oh, hi, I'm Natalie, I'm your new neighbour, I'm divorced, I've got 2 kids. And she said, oh, I'm divorced too, and I live here with my mum and my daughter. There's 3 generations in that house, 3 generations of women. I went, oh, okay. And I said, and your dad? Because I saw him quite clearly. You just would know that was the dad. And she said, no. She goes, my dad passed away a few years ago. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I said, so, all right, well, maybe you should know there was a man going through your bins then forever. I thought I would tell her about that because that was strange. And I said, well, there was a man going through, but he had all these little bags, Lord knows what he was doing, but he was there for a long time. And she goes, oh, what did he look like? And I said, well, he was about my height, and, he was really thin, and he had this blue and white check shirt on. He looked about, I don't know, late 70s, 80s. And I said he had grey hair, it was thinning and pulled back, longish. And she just stared at me like this. And she said, that was my dad. I've even got goosebumps even saying that again. And, whoa, big ones on my head. And I just, I was shocked as much as her. So I'm literally seeing a ghost. And there I am, because I lived on a main road for what felt like forever, but it was probably like maybe a good minute, maybe 2, waving like this. People going past in cars going, what is this woman waving at? Because I thought afterwards, no one can see him, only me. And this lady went white, you know, she just, she was in shock. She said, definitely Dad. And then she said, I couldn't, that blue and white check shirt you're describing, she goes, we couldn't get it off of him. That was his favourite shirt. And I thought, okay. I didn't really, I got goosebumps and thought, this is what is going on, but you're in the conversation and I didn't have time to process that. So afterwards started processing that information. And I realised I'd actually seen, you know, it's like a real person. I'm thinking ghosts are see-through, but he wasn't see-through. It was like I was waving at everyone and I thought, God, you know, people going past must have thought I was crazy. But anyway, this neighbour, she didn't say a word about that. 6 months later, I invited her around for a cup of tea. And I said, look, you've never said anything about that. Can I bring it up? Because I needed to process it and talk about it as much as what she maybe had questions about it. And so that's what happened. And we had a talk and I said, oh, you know that day that I saw that person, your dad? She said, oh, you freaked me out that day. And I said, to you? I said, I freaked myself out as well. I said, this is not a normal thing for me. So that's when it all started. The journey of going inwards, trying to work out what that was about. And then I started to remember things. I started to, you know, crunch down on a few memories. And then I remembered at school, I was a little kid. And I've written these things in my book. This is my book, by the way. Oh, it's on there. You probably can see it. I remember at school, I was very young, under the age of 10, and I remember clearly, and I don't remember much from school at all. I don't have much of a memory, but I remember this. I went up to the teacher, when I say went up to the teacher, it was all kids and the teacher, and I remember saying, teacher, there's more females in the world than males. Now, I'm under the age of 10. What on earth would make me say that? It's not like we're learning about anything like that at school. And I remember her reaction like, well, okay, strange child. and that was that. And then, you know, lo and behold, the following, I don't know, time frame, who knows, a few days later, the next week, she came into the classroom with the front page of the newspaper and she just comes up to me and she goes, there's more females in the world than males. It was on the front page of the newspaper. And now in reflection, when you're a kid, that was normal for me. And so on reflection, I think I possess psychic abilities, but I didn't know it, because how do you know yourself? You don't. And so that was weird, because she sort of said that to me and I'm like, yeah, and told you that. But not even in that way. I wasn't acting smart about it. I had no idea, just naive and just no idea. And so these things, little events, continued to happen. And it was the divorce that made me go within and work out. I started to have questions then. Well, if I'm doing this, what else is out there? Who am I? What is going on here? So that's what happened. And then all of a sudden I kept getting woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And now I've done research on that. Apparently that's a time when things happen with spiritual stuff. I didn't know at the time. And I got this unbelievable download. It was like literally I got an injection of inspiration. If you could bottle that stuff and inject a person with it, that's what happened to me. So I got this injection of inspiration to write a book out of nowhere. Never wanted to be an author, never thought about authoring a book. Don't have the time. You know, I'm busy studying, doing my new career in hypno-psychotherapy and other things. Oh, it was undeniable. Had to listen to it, had to do it. And I was like, because I started to research. I've just been told to write a book. And not only that, in there I go into more detail, but it was the uncanny thing that they downloaded to me 10, 15 titles of a book, maybe 20 even. It's in my old phone. I actually, in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not good with technology, as I was just saying to Kevin, not at all. Everything is a struggle to learn technology. I have to ask Google how to use technology for everything, every step. And I leaned over, got my phone beside the bed, and all of a sudden at 3 o'clock in the morning, half asleep, I literally couldn't even see out my eyes because I was that asleep. I was still like hazy. Knew how to press notes and typed in perfectly, without making a mistake, mind you, all the titles of those books. And all the titles of those books were inspiring books. And I was like, oh, wow. And, I just remember feeling so inspired. That was it. Done. Mission complete. Total download into me. Went back to bed because it wasn't me writing the book. It was channeled through me. They used my experiences to link up, which I call the breadcrumbs. I followed the breadcrumbs and then following the breadcrumbs to figure out what on earth is happening for me, this whole, psychic stuff. It led me to actually discover who I truly am. So in the book, there's no chapters as such. I don't call them chapter 1, chapter 2. I call them following the breadcrumbs to discovering the blueprints of who I truly am. I knew that I had no choice. So I remember saying, well, if this is what you want me to do, now this is weird because I don't have conversations like this, but all of a sudden I was. This is what you want me to do. I get it. I know I have to do it, but you have to support me. There's no way financially I could afford to do this. And it worked out. Without even trying. Just everything just fell into place, like doing a jigsaw puzzle you've done a million times. And it all flowed. And that's what happened. Now we have the book. So the book is the breadcrumbs about the journey, the blueprints as to who we truly are. And then I was like, well, I don't think there's enough content here for a book. I said, when I write this book, I'm going to write it for my kids. That's what I thought. I wasn't intending on writing this for people. But Spirit had another message there. So they said, no, it will be a book. And another night I woke up and they said, let me get the words right. They said, Pearls of Wisdom. That's what they said. They just give short downloads. You do a section called Pearls of Wisdom. Not that they speak like that. I heard Pearls of Wisdom and I knew. It's a knowing. So I'm like, okay, Pearls of Wisdom. That's going to be a section in the book. So it is. But I thought I'll just write it for my kids. But after it was complete, I realised, no, this is not just for my children. Because I thought when I move on out of this realm, there is a book there that when my children are ready, they can read it and know who they truly are because it's empowering. It's a guide for them to be able to know their power, know their worth, know who they are. That there's far more to them than the societal conditioning has led us to believe. So it became a book. So it's crazy. And during the time of writing this book, I had lots of downloads. And since the book is finished, I haven't had those downloads, although I did go away for a weekend in the country in South Australia. And I had another one. I got up again 3 o'clock in the morning and they told me the name of the book that they want me to write next. And I thought, no, I just finished that one and I'm busy. But all right, I'm the humble servant and that's fine. I'll do it because they want me to. Yeah, so that's fine. So anyway, that's what it's about. I did dedicate it to my children, my beautiful new husband who supports me like amazingly, and my mum. One of them I'd like to read. Would you like me to read you a section from the book? Yeah. All right. So this happened again one morning. When I say one morning, in my dreams, something came to me. I forgot about it. I got up the next day, was opening up my mail, and I remembered the promise I made in the dream. So I'll read you that part. A few months into writing this book, a peculiar occurrence took place that left me both intrigued and bewildered. It was an ordinary night, like no other, when an extraordinary dream visited me, delivering a message that would linger in my mind for days to come. In this dream, I found myself standing in an empty room. The air was still, and a sense of anticipation filled the space. This is not made up, this is real. Suddenly, a word materialised before my eyes, as if someone had written it in black, bold letters against a pristine white background. And the word was, now I'd never heard of this word before, and I don't even know to this day if I'm saying it right, pronouncing it right, but it's called, the word was Wahy, W-A-H-Y. And it commanded my attention with a striking, bold presence. And actually, to add what I haven't written in this book, is that the word was out here and I sensed voices saying, are you paying attention? And I'm like, yeah, but I was having too much fun in this dream, doing nothing. I don't know what I was doing. And then the word came closer. And then again, this love but sternness, very, very strict. Are you listening? Are you looking at that word? I felt the love, but I also felt the sternness. And then I was like, yeah. Next minute, let's put that so I lose my page. It was literally in my dream, in my face like this, in thick, bold, black writing, this W-A-H-Y. And I wasn't paying attention. I was saying I wasn't. And then I went, in the dream, yes, W-A, it was sort of like, like I was a naughty child, W-A-H, and when I got to the Y, I went, why? It's not even a word. That's what I said. So, because it all happens in packets of information. It's not a linear conversation, but it all happened in a split second. It's not even a word, but I promise, because they said, you promise you remember this word. That was it. It was just a dream. Forgot about it. The next day opening up the mail, it hit me. I was like, I was meant to look something up. I made a promise. What was that word? What was that word? What was that word? And it was like, you know, when it's like on the tip of your tongue and you can't quite grab it, that's what it was like. And I went W, and it came to me as I grabbed my phone. W-A-H-Y. And I entered the definition in there. So I'll continue reading. What have I written here? So as the letters of the word hung suspended in the air, they slowly moved closer and closer to my face, ensuring that I would examine each in detail. I felt a strong force compelling me to remember this word and to etch it within my consciousness. Struggling to comprehend its significance, it wasn't even a word to me. I thought it was just made up mumble-jumble silly dream. I made a solemn promise to myself and what seemed to be in the presence of the celestial being that I would not let it fade away. Upon awaking the following morning, the residual haze of the dream clung to my thoughts, and it was around 11 a.m. when I sat down to open my mail. I handled each letter and envelope. As I did, the sudden jolt of remembrance shot through me like an electric current, and I made a promise and commitment to seek out the meaning of the mysterious word. Determined to honour my pledge, I reached my mobile phone, which I've just explained, and began the search. So I typed it in, W-A-H-Y. And my anticipation mingled with a tinge, and I'm going to say more than a tinge, of scepticism as I wondered if the dream-induced word held any tangible significance. And although full of doubt that this was even a word, curiosity urged me to shed light on this intriguing word, and I did solemnly promise. So this is what the Google search engine said. In Wikipedia, Wa'i is the Arabic word for revelation. In Islamic belief, revelations are God's word delivered by his chosen individuals, known as messenger prophets to mankind. I'm telling you, I actually hung my head. I felt completely overwhelmed reading that, because I'm like, they chose that word because I have no idea about any Islamic faiths. I honestly have no idea. I've got zero knowledge in my brain about any of that. I just don't know. I don't even watch the news. I haven't had the news on for 15 years. I don't have mainstream TV. It's off. And I didn't even do history or geography at school. I had no idea. And I don't speak any other language apart from English. So it was weird. And I thought to myself, well, that makes sense. They wanted me to write this book. There's a message in it. It's that we're far greater than who we think we are. It's about discovering your true potential. It's about questioning. It's about getting outside of the conditioning, the mainstream societal conditioning, and, you know, knowing how amazing we are, how powerful we are. And our thoughts have way more power than our actual word. The words are not even close enough to describe the feelings and the thoughts. So it's very important. The meaning of it was to point out something to someone, to put a thing into the mind of someone. That's what it said in the Wikipedia, which is exactly what the book was about. So it all tied in. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's my sole purpose. I discovered who I truly was as far as energy for a start, but also that this is my purpose, just to help people, show them the way, to provide an avenue for them to go down to discover who they truly are. So that's my purpose in life. I've worked it out now. Amazing. So I guess I had to go through the divorce, to go within, to find out my blueprints, to discover who I truly am, to then share the story with everyone else. And who knows, my journey's not over. I don't know where else this is going to lead me, but it's pretty amazing. Another thing that Spirit said is that when I got to those bits and I wrote down my breadcrumbs and discovered the blueprints and finished that, Spirit said, now you've got to join it up. And I'm like, What does that mean? They said you have to link it to greater consciousness now. You have to like make them know where that fits in. And I'm like, all right, but I don't even know what greater consciousness is. I swear to you, this has been a crazy journey. So I had to research what collective consciousness was, and I had an idea, but greater consciousness, like, God, I've got a sense of what that is, but I really need to know if I'm going to write it in a book. So that's what I did. So I just researched things, and then I had to sort of, there's one diagram in the book. My daughter actually did it for me on the computer because I have no idea. Put it in there, and it's just a simple diagram saying that this is the I, and this is the collective consciousness, and then that links up to the greater consciousness, and every thought, and every word, and every feeling, and every experience that we have as an individual is like throwing a pebble into a still pond and watching the ripples from the pebble reverberate out and affect the whole ecosystem of that pond. And that's how we all are. With a word we have, even though we don't think it consciously as we go about our day, but every word is it has such an effect on everyone and everything. So every thought, because thoughts aren't empty bubbles of nothingness, they are an energetic exchange. And energy we can't create energy and we can't destroy it. It just continuously recycles around. And so whatever we put out there is out there. So it pays to be very conscious, or become, as a hypnotherapist, how I help people as well, I help people to become the witness to themselves. Because when you're the witness to yourselves, and you can actually get outside of your body and you can see yourself communicating, you can hear the sounds of your words, you can slow it down and even feel the reaction, even if you can't see one, an energetic one from the person you're communicating with. There's a lot of power in that. When we can do that, we can be, when we're very conscious, we can create change. We can choose then better words. We can become the witness of our thoughts and choose better ones. So basically, what I'm trying to say is as well that I've realized is that people look outwards for someone else to fix that, someone else to fix the world, someone else to fix, this is just how it is, but it isn't. We are very powerful. And what we think and what we say and what we believe, what our beliefs are, shapes our reality. It shapes greater consciousness, actually. So if we want to change the world we live in, if we don't like what we are experiencing, it's up to us to change it by identifying what we believe in, what our boundaries are, what our values are, also celebrating what we're grateful for, and then actually crunching down, having time. That's why I put that in the book, so important. Crunching down at the end of the day, what happened in the day? What did I do really good today that I can give myself a pat on the back? What didn't go down so well that I could do different later? So we're not just on the hamster wheel of life, just repeating the same situations and getting the same reactions or responses over and over again. It's up to us to be principled, to spend at least 10 minutes at the end of the day and reflect on how things went so we can construct a new narrative, a new way of being, a new sentence structure that you'll be, and you can rehearse it in your mind. And then when you go out into the world and it happens again, and you think, God, why does this keep happening to me? Like this thing just keeps happening to me. It's because we haven't actually sat down and crunched through it and designed a new response or reaction. And that is because we are all functioning from our programs. So we are full of programs. So imagine next to me there's a filing cabinet. And the filing cabinet is my personal filing cabinet. And everything in that cabinet is stored away neatly and perfectly. And it's every experience I've had, every thought, every word, every dream, every feeling, all stored in the personal filing cabinet. And that personal filing cabinet is like the ongoing tapestry. Every thought becomes a thread of my unique tapestry that makes me unique and makes me me. What makes you unique and what makes you you. And when we can actually go within and work out who we are, what makes us tick, what our beliefs are, what we value, we can when we become the witness that we can change, because that filing cabinet, that tapestry is unique to me, that history, and just say it was now a pair of glasses. That's everything, all of my experience now embedded in these lenses, and now I'm going to put them on, and now everything, every interaction I have in the world, I see it through the lenses of my personal history. Does that make sense? So your personality literally dictates your personal reality. If you don't like your personal reality, then you need to change your personality. How do you do that? You go into the filing cabinet and you start loving yourself more. What that means is going within. What does that mean, going within? This buzzword they keep saying. It just means to reflect. It means to ask yourself questions. You need to question everything if you want to change your life. Well, who am I? What do I want? Because people in this world react to everything. Oh my God, this one said that one, oh, it's just terrible. You know what? You can change that, because it's not, don't give your power out and say it's all their fault, the reason why you're reacting like that. No, you can change something within yourself. Find out why you're reacting and not responding in a way that you would like to respond and conduct your life. Whatever we do in life, we leave a legacy behind, and it's not the car and the house and the inheritance. It's the energetic imprint you leave in somebody's soul of what they felt about you. In essence, this book is the key to unlocking, your true identity and potential. It's a guide that helps you to uncover the depths of your being, revealing the potential that resides inside you. And it's got some framework in there. It's got some transformative, helpful framework, because I'm a hypno-psychotherapist. That was downloaded too. I said, oh my God, can I call this the Altramind technique? And they're like, call it what you like. And I'm like, that's done. So, I've got to tell you that story too. I got a download of a technique, and again, had this time pad and paper next to the bed, wrote it down verbatim, and everything started with R. It was weird. And I went, that is a very, this is like a spiritual, this is like given to me from God. It's like I got a note from God. And I put it in my diary with a bulldog clip so I wouldn't lose it. And, being very busy, I thought, when I have time, I'm going to pull out that note, because that's meant to be in the book. I didn't read it. I wrote it at the early hours of the morning. A few months later, mind you, I thought, right, now it's time to put that in the book. And geez, I thought, this is going to be a headache, like deciphering what this meant. It was so long ago now. And when I read it, I went, oh my goodness, it's perfect. It's perfect. It was even in the right order. And I knew what it meant. I just had to put a little description, and it flowed. And I went, oh my Lord, you've just made this so easy for me. Thank you. So I went in the book verbatim, the technique. So it's to help you crunch down on things, your thoughts. It's to help you go within. And the other thing I thought, when I actually had published the book, it was the last day with my publisher, and I was about to go, yep, I've read it now 3 times what you've done, and you've, polished, like when I say polished it, to be honest, how I wrote it is how it is, but they go through and they just put it into like chapters for you, and they make it look nice, and yeah, but they didn't change anything written in there. How it's written is how it is. I had a friend who's on the front cover. She's written a few books. She went through it for grammar and everything like that for me. I should really support people with a hypnotherapy that they can access to listen to if they don't want to crunch down and do written homework, that they can listen to, and the hypnotherapy will help them to review the day's events and thoughts, and pat themselves on their back, for something good they liked and want to do again, and then think about the things that probably didn't go well and how you could do that different next time. So I wrote a little hypnotherapy, recorded it, and somewhere in the book it says you can do that too. So that's a little gem that's in there, I think, to help people. I do something called Quantum Bioresonance, because I know that we are an energetic being. You'll read that if you get the book and read about our blueprints. We're an energetic being. Was it Albert Einstein, or was it Tesla, or was it Casey? I think Casey said medicine's future will be in energy, it will be frequency. Okay, so Edgar Casey, if anybody doesn't know, maybe Google him, but I'm sure you do know him. He wrote down that the future's medicine will be frequency. Nikola Tesla said that if you want to know the secrets of the universe, you got to speak in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And I think it was Albert Einstein that said something as well that I can't think of right now, but there was a quote related to frequency, energy, and vibration as well. Sorry, that's just gone out of my head. Sometimes these things happen. And so that's why I do the quantum biofeedback frequencies. And I do a little talk. A couple of you have been, 3 of you have been to it. And I do a talk about what sound medicine is. It's about frequencies, and I help people they do a voice print. And then from that, I extrude information about what's going on in their body, their mind, and their biofield. Your voice is unique to you. Your fingerprints are unique to you. Even, I have twins, they're not identical, but even identical twins, their fingerprints aren't the same. The eye, the iris, or the flecks and all that, for everybody different. Because there's no one else like you in the whole entire universe, which means that's pretty amazing. Questioning is important. I could choose to not question and just keep going with the flow, but the way the world is going, I want to change it. I want to in my own unique way. And like I said, one pebble on a pond can have a ripple effect. And so we are all those pebbles, and we not have the potential, we do affect one another. We are literally all connected by the field that I was talking about. So grab your power. Know that there's no one else like you in the whole entire universe. There's no one like you in the whole entire universe, and you are almighty powerful. And with your thoughts and with your consciousness, you can change things. It's, sometimes just smiling at somebody in the street can save their life. You can create a life. Sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable, but remember, pressure makes diamonds. And when you've got time to think and reflect, you've got time to create. And you change your life, and then you affect other people because you inspire them, and then they change their life. They think, well, if she can do it, I can do it. You absolutely can. I have a website. It's called Natalie-Gardner.com. And if you go on there, I have listed, I just cut and pasted this email I got saying this is where you can get the book as an audio file. As far as shops, Dimmicks have got this book on Jetty Rogue-Linnell. It's the publisher's got it, which is on the back. It's called In-House Publishing. If you do get it, I would love a review. If you buy it from Amazon, then you're allowed to write a review. If you try to write a review on Amazon but bought it from somewhere else, they won't let you. Worked that out. And Goodreads is another place where you can leave reviews, because if you leave a review, it gets more seen and more noticed, and the message gets around, and it's not about me. Spirit wanted this. Here it is. Just do your best. And know that you don't have to do anything in life. Just, you are enough already. You were born enough. You don't have to do anything to be validated. You're perfect from the get-go. It's hard to sort of put ourselves in that mind frame, but that's the truth. Now, one last thing that I would like to do, is a bit of a fun game, if you like. I would like to hand out a spoon to you all. You're like, whoa, this is weird. And with our minds, because I would like you to experience, for those of you who haven't done it, and you don't have to participate, it's only an invitation. Just in your seats, just very calmly and casually, I'd like you to experience the power of your mind. Because where your thoughts go, your energy flows. Where your thoughts go, your energy flows. And I'm just going to help you to shift your focus on this activity, and you're going to conduct and think and focus and project all of your energy into a spoon, and you're going to make it look like this. You're going to bend the spoon with your mind. Now, I don't mean you're going to hold the spoon and go, it's got to bend with my mind. Uri Geller does that, but there's a story to his ability. And so his abilities to transmit energy are really strong. Anyway, we're going to do it today. We're going to do it with 2 hands. Some of you might be able to conduct. I'm not going to limit you guys in any way. You might want to do it with 1 hand, but just for today, do it with 2 hands. Bend the spoon. All right, and open your eyes. How did we go? And, oh, you twisted yours a bit too. If you haven't bent the spoon, doesn't matter. You can practice. Did anybody bend the spoon? Pop your spoon in the air. I want to see these bent spoons. Oh, can I take a, I've got to take a photo of this later. Whoa, whoa, look at that one over there. Wow, wow. And you bent it further up too, which is harder to bend it there. Yeah, well done, well done. Excellent. So,
Still got the receipt from
so did you feel the difference between the initial power you had to put to then using your mind and then bending it? Did you feel that it was easier? Isn't that funny? Just the direction of thought literally made bending that metal easier. The power of the mind. So we are far greater than who we think we are, and that's the message today.